welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff show. My name is Dan, and joining me this week, my co-host, Marty.
Hi, everybody.
Look at that.
I have Abe in the trunk somewhere.
He's dead. He's dead. There's no more Abe anymore.
I want to just I know there were some jokes in the last show, but any thought that it's, Abe is gone because we didn't get along or something like that, it's not true. So
No, not that I know of.
Not that I know.
I mean, could be wrong.
There's a quote from Private Parts where Howard's talking about Fred. He's like, Fred seems like me, but who the hell knows? Fred's like wallpaper. Who can get a read on me? That's kind of similar to Abe, but
that's a fair point.
As far as I'm concerned, Abe and I got along the whole time.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, I'm trying to run the show. Looks okay so far. Yeah, the chat's kind of. See, I knew the chat was going to mess me up.
So far, it looks fine.
The chat's a little off, but I can fix that. I don't want to fix it right now.
No, we're good.
Yeah. But I'm getting some warnings to say that my video resolution isn't the greatest, so hopefully we don't have issues.
We're already off to a better start than our last attempt at this.
I hope so. I mean, I hope the video doesn't drop off at any minute. Yeah, I'm getting this little warning. It says you need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is 1280 by 720, which is not supported for this configuration. The expected video resolution is 1920 by 1080. I thought I had the video resolution correct. I assume that I'm wrong. I tested it out earlier and it seemed fine. So hopefully, I've had the warning for about like a minute now, and is the show still going? I hope so. Yeah, the video looks fine.
Everyone's saying it looks fine. So we'll charge ahead.
We'll charge ahead, and hopefully it works. Video content wise, as Amanda says, not so good. All right.
She's our biggest fan.
She's our biggest fan. I can't wait to have her on the reboot of the show, the new show.
The new show.
Same as the old show.
Same as the old show, but less graphics.
A little bit. Hey, the opening worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
I just robbed all of Abe's graphics, though. So, cool show this week. We're going to talk about Goon 2. It's not even Goon 2, right?
No, it's Goon 2, The Last Enforcer. Last of the Enforcers.
I don't think there's a 2 in there. I think it's just Goon, Last of the Enforcers.
And there's not even a colon. So
No. So, I mean, colons make everything better.
Yeah.
So, let's do this. Let's talk about some Goon. All right. Goon 2 review. See, and I prefaced it by saying that it's not actually Goon 2, it's just Goon, Last of the Enforcers. I saw the first Goon movie a while back, and a lot of people had mentioned, like, oh, check out Goon. It's surprisingly good. And I caught it one night on maybe I was traveling or something like that. I caught it on cable, and I was surprised by it. I was like, Sean William Scott, man, this is a fun movie. I'm a fan of Liev Schreiber, too.
Yeah,
I think kind of a little underrated of an actor, maybe.
He's getting his due now. I'm a big Donovan fan.
Ray Donovan, yeah.
Ray Donovan. He was great in Spotlight, which I just rewatched on a plane last week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome back from your honeymoon.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was like a 30-degree
see how
tan
I am?
Yes.
The Aruba sun.
Yeah, Miami right here, right?
There you go.
Miami. Yeah. It's bronze at this point.
We're not a tan. We're not a people that tan.
No. So I caught it probably when I was traveling or something like that, and Goon was a really surprisingly fun movie, and when I heard that they were making a sequel to this to Goon, I was like, please God, no, please don't. There's no point. I mean, most of the time, there's no point to most sequels, right?
Especially comedies. Definitely sports comedies.
Definitely. All right, let's run down some sports comedy sequels. You want to run down some sports comedy sequels right now?
Well, the worst are Mighty Ducks never got any better. They did 4 of those, I believe. One went straight to there's always one that goes straight to video at the end. Major League had 3 more.
The third one, the Buzz one.
The
minor
that
league
was
one,
that was almost straight. There might have been another one that was straight to video after that. Well, I mean, Rockies, of course, they did 8 of those. 3 of them probably good. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's the most I can think of.
Yeah.
Bad News Bears. Oh, Bad News Bears did a bunch for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went to China. They always travel.
Yeah. So when they mentioned that they were going to do a Goon sequel, I was none too pleased. I thought the first one kind of stands on its own, and so watch it last night. Me and Aaron, watch it video on demand, and I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I
All right.
did. I can't believe. At the at some points it felt like I was watching. Do you remember that video game Blades of Steel?
Yes.
Yeah, and you fought the
Mhm.
dude and you knocked him down, and then he lands on the ground and there's just this puddle of blood that just kind of oozes out from his head. I felt like I was watching Blades of Steel at some point. Like the fights were so good. I really enjoyed the choreography and the blood and the violence in this movie. I really did. I thought it was fun.
I thought the fights were a little over the top.
Oh no, way over the top. These were not realistic fights. No, 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 no.
No,
Way way over the top.
they
But
were committing crimes on the ice for the most part.
yeah, yeah, oh, big time. Every single one of those fights, like, would have ended with like the. Wait a minute, I haven't been to a hockey game in a while. Are security on skates too? Like they have like skating security
No, but
guards. Or...
they wouldn't let that go on.
No, no,
I'll
no,
just say
no.
that.
The police would be out there. Like there'd be,
You're not allowed to headbutt.
No,
Let's just say that.
no.
That's probably a 50-game suspension.
Yeah, right. Instead, you trade for the kid, and he becomes your top player.
Yeah, I must say I've never seen a movie get into the plot as fast as this thing.
It did.
Just
You got right into it.
it just didn't even. There was no, and it was odd to me because Goon came out in I think 2011. I want to say.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? Yeah.
So, and I've known I don't I've seen it, but I wasn't I didn't study it or anything. So I've seen it way back when in passing. And so to pick right back up with the story, assuming that everybody knows what's going on, I thought was a bit of a misstep. I'm not gonna lie. Because I actually checked at one point, like because I watched it on, of course, watched it on demand too, watch it on the smart TV. So I was like, all right, did I hit the skip button? Are we? Am I starting 20 minutes into this movie? Because it's right into the movie, and then the plot, and then we're right going, and it's like, all right, I don't even know why we're doing this right now.
Yeah, and it was one of those things too. When you're when you haven't seen the movie for a while and you're trying to remember who some of these characters were, it's like, was this character in the first one? Like,
Yeah, because they didn't even barely go over names again.
No,
They didn't.
no.
They did inside jokes from the first one
Mhm.
that you really had to remember to care about or to find funny, really, because you
Right.
wouldn't know what they were talking about. And it was, I guess, that was one of the issues I had with it. It's just that it kicks right in, and then the story that they tell is kind of just not that. It's fun. I mean, they throw first 5 minutes, joke, 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 curses, curses, curses,
Fights.
blood, blood,
Yeah,
blood,
yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Okay, and now here we go. It's like, okay.
Well, okay, so let's just give a general plot synopsis. Do you want to do it? Okay.
Yeah, we can do it. Sean William Scott, of course, plays this hockey goon, of course, and they start, like I said, they start right into a game, and in the first game, he gets his ass kicked by a younger stud of a fighter on the other team, and he gets injured. Boom, you got to retire, and within, like I said, 5 minutes, they've had a game, he got hit, and he's retired. But then, and it's like, the story is kind of him coming back, but he comes back within, I want to say, another 20 minutes of the movie. It wasn't a long. They give one scene where he has to go get a job as an insurance agent, but they never really go back to that much. So then he just
That
goes
was a
back.
funny scene, though.
It was a funny scene, but then
we'll get into that. That was a funny scene. But yeah.
they could have done some more with that. They could have done some more with a few plots and plot points, and there are some really funny points in this movie that just they don't feed into again. Like what's my man Miller is running the
TJ Miller, yeah.
TJ Miller is the sports desk guy. This kind of cliche thing we've seen a few times, and maybe it's dodgeball and
it's very dodgeballish.
what was
more cursing? Yeah.
And the Will Ferrell basketball movie.
Oh yeah.
Thunder, whatever was the someone was saying in the chat, but it's that kind of over the top, joking, cursing kind of announcing and just fun. But they do that for like a good part of the movie. That they're using that to tell a story, and then they kind of stop doing that.
Right.
Like for the last half hour, you don't see those guys again. Now it's probably the most times I laugh probably was wearing those little asides. So yeah, he comes, and then while I always love sports movies that don't have the rights to the sport they're talking about. So in this world, Big League Hockey is on strike. So clearly, we're
Hey,
talking about,
big league hockey's on strike. It
and
happens. It happens often.
in a movie where they have ad placements for every hockey gear. As you can see, I'm wearing my hockey jersey here for to commemorate this. But they have every logo you've ever seen in a sporting event in this movie. The fact that they couldn't also get the rights to say NHL was odd to me. So it's kind of this weird. It's like I said, it's a bunch of sports movies all in one. It's got some replacement vibe to it because everyone's seen the replacement movie with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
It's like the pro players are mixing with now the minor league hockey players, and so there's kind of that clash. And it's just like a lot of things going on at once. And you're also getting the storyline at home with Allison Pill playing his wife who's pregnant, and she's just kind of on her own the whole time. But they don't. It's again, I don't really care that much about what was going on there. And so again, like he comes back to the ring. I mean, not the ring and the rink. We'll just put that all together. And so he has to kind of play hockey again. And like I said, there was no drama to any of it because, like I said, he was retired for all of 20 minutes of the movie, I think.
Yeah. I think so. Some of the cool points that we'll get to is so when he gets the job at the insurance agency, his boss. I think it's a funny scene. Like his boss basically takes him down to this like basement area, and just like there's bums outside.
Yeah, he was what's his name? He was
I can't remember the actor's name, but he's been
he was on Jason Jones.
Okay.
So he was on the Daily Show for a while, and does a lot of bad TBS comedies.
Yeah, so that was a really funny scene when they're talking about the bums and that they can witness outside of his office window.
They stick him down in the janitor's closet office. We don't, but again, they don't really explain why they did that.
Right.
And again, he's only there once more, I think.
Yeah, he's not there.
Yeah,
he keeps telling his wife that I got a whole thing of papers that I need to work. And they make him mildly mentally handicapped.
Yeah, I didn't get that. It was annoying after a while how dumb he was.
Yeah, he's very dumb. And then the other goon that they bring in is just as dumb.
That's what it was kind of that's where I see the parallels to Major League 2 in this movie. Because Major League 2 is Roger Dorn comes back, and now he's the ex-player, now owns the team and runs the team. And now in this movie, we have the old player from last year is now running the team like an asshole. And he brings in the hated player to the team to kind of piss everybody off. And then they have to get rid of him again, and he comes back. It was so many little parallels to other failed sequels of sports movies that it was odd that they couldn't. And it wasn't like not in parody sense either. This was Jay. What are we saying? It's Baruchel. Jay Baruchel from all of Seth Rogen's.
Yeah, he's in the Seth Rogen movies. And,
he's a funny kid.
I like him. Yeah.
He's really great in Tropic Thunder. Unsung part of that. But this is his directorial debut, and he wrote it as well.
I didn't know that. This is his debut. Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on this scale, I'm sure he's done some shorts and stuff. But I saw an interview with him today, and it was like talk about we had all these ideas for a sequel, and then I was surprised that this is what they came up with.
That's kind of mean. What else could you have expected?
Well, when I saw this movie, I thought the logical thing was, I mean, if you know anything about hockey now, they're kind of doing away with fights for the most part. There's not really that many goons in hockey anymore. They used to be back in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, early 90s, yeah.
Yeah, every team had a goon on it where it's like, so if you went after the team's best player, that guy would come and kick your ass. But they don't even have that much anymore. So I thought this movie would be, all right, hockey is phasing out these goons, and how does this guy now live in hockey knowing that this is what he does? But instead, they just still have a hockey game that's ultra violent to the extent that's not even. I mean, this is more violent than slapstick was back in the fucking.
Oh yeah, way more violent.
80s there, and so it's not that they touch a little bit on concussions and injury and stuff like that, but nothing to an extent that it was that big a deal.
Right.
It was just that he was getting injured a lot too, and that's why he kind of left. But it wasn't anything about the fact that they call him. The movie is called The Last of the Enforcers. It didn't really play into that much
Well,
as
I mean,
I figured.
yeah, I see what you're saying, but it kind of did because one of the things that's a subplot, if you will, is Lee Schreiber, who's
Yeah,
the big goon from the first one that he had to fight, is kind of out of hockey.
yeah,
He's too old. He's kind of been phased out, and so I thought this is interesting to have just like this hockey fighting league. And
yeah.
and Erin says to me, she's like, "Is that real?" I was like, "I hope not, but it could be. I could see it as some it could be. You never
It
know."
was very kind of like a backyard wrestling kind of feel to it, or kind of like
Yeah,
cockfighting. You know,
it was kind of disturbing, but kind of
yeah,
morbidly curious in the same
mhm,
sense. So here he is, and he's making money basically that way. Is just fighting. It's
yeah,
boxing on skates. Really, it's just bare knuckle boxing on skates is what he's doing. And so Sean William Scott and Jay Baruchel end up at one of these events and sees him, sees Lee Schreiber there. And it gives Sean William Scott like kind of motivation of trying to make his comeback. That's how he makes his comeback. He goes to Lee Schreiber and asks to be trained. Because
yeah. But it wasn't even. It was weird that he trained. It's like he had to train to fight Lefty. That was like the big.
yeah,
That was
because
the
his
plot of the
arm,
movie.
his right
Yeah.
arm was. Well, I mean, isn't that a plot of like Rocky? Because Rocky's
I also
eye,
saw some people that compared this to Rocky 3.
yeah, because Rocky's eye, so he had to train.
Yeah, 2 and 3 really, because he had to go
Rocky
train.
2, yeah, Rocky 2. He well,
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
but 3 as well. He had to go back and train with Apollo. So
hmm
this kind of same thing where he had to train with the guy that beat you.
yeah. So again, so he's training with Lee Schreiber, and that's how he makes his kind of comeback. Is there's like a battle royale, like,
Yeah,
which again was a funny scene. It's just
yeah. Again, there's a lot of
brutally,
funny scenes in this movie, but it just
yeah, and brutally kind of some really messed up fighting, and so Lee Schreiber. I think that was the surprise. If you say there's one thing that surprised me is the fact that he got brought back to
yeah. I
play.
guess
I
it
liked
must
it.
be
I like that.
like he must just be. I mean, seems like a really cool guy. So I guess
Yeah.
he just doesn't like. You said, ah, "Fuck it, I'll go back," because he clearly doesn't have to do this movie.
Yeah. Oh no. So no, I thought it was really surprising and really cool that he went back to join the team. Like they brought him back to the team. I
Yeah,
actually
but
like that a lot.
that was another point too. They didn't really explain like the owner is watching, like they did a news story on this, whatever battle royal
Mm-hmm.
boxing, hockey, cockfight thing we're talking about. And the news story makes it seem like this is barbaric and shitty. And so the owner gets rid of his son who's on his team who's barbaric and shitty and just brings back
Brings
the
in
other
Lee
guy.
Schreiber. Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Let's talk about the son too. So the main thing is so Sean William Scott within the first few minutes of the movie, they're playing against Reading, Pennsylvania, right? And
Yeah, like I said, there's all the team names are just random
yeah.
towns.
Well,
And there was
it
one.
was meant to be like a AHL,
Yeah, it's
like the
finally
minor
yeah.
league hockey, right?
There was one Newark team. That was
Yeah,
funny.
there's Newark, there's Reading, Pennsylvania, and then these guys are up in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So they're playing Reading, and the owner of Sean William Scott's team, his
Highland.
son, the Highlanders, yeah, his son plays on the Reading team, and within the first few minutes, it just gets into a fight with Sean William Scott and like headbutts him, like you mentioned, like
Yeah.
should have been going. That's it, and the fight should have been broken up at that point too.
Yeah, they
It's
just
like,
sit there as this guy gets his ass kicked
like
brutally.
brutally horrible, and his arm broken, like it
Yeah,
breaks the dude's arm.
like boxing matches and MMA fights get stopped before this kind of shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can make a Conor McGregor joke, but I won't at this point. Would have taken about 10 rounds for that to happen.
Yeah,
So, so the son who basically almost cripples Sean William Scott. So the
yeah,
father decides, like, hey, let's have him join the team. He's an asshole. We need to make the playoffs for some reason. Before
yeah.
before the
That was
before the
never.
lockout's over, we need to make the playoffs.
Yeah, the stakes were never really
Well, it's
explained.
no stakes. They had to make the playoffs. Like the stakes of like Major League One
Yeah,
made sense, right? The stakes in it, I was like, yeah. Um,
the
so
playoffs in 4 out of 6 years or something. I think that was made. It's like
so it's just
random.
really weird though. Is they bring the son, joins the team. The son, of course, is just does not do well, clashes with everyone on the team, and so they get rid of the son, and then the son joins that Reading team again, and of course,
Yeah,
of course, it's the Cleveland Indians and the Yankees, or the Bad News Bears and the Yankees, whatever.
In in two, it was the White Sox they brought in.
Right.
So that was
Right. So there was bound for them to get back together, and right before the game, the team medical doctor, he's been in some other things too. They had a lot of just people that have just been in stuff that must have just done as a favor for Baruchel.
Like I said, Leah Schreiber we mentioned, Allison Pill we mentioned. She's been on a bunch of good things. The kid we're talking about, was Wyatt Russell. The coach I really loved for the team.
Yeah.
Tim Coates.
Both the coaches. I enjoyed both the coaches. Yeah, they really did remind me of like hockey coaches.
Yeah, he was on Sons of Anarchy for the whole run.
Okay.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Alicia Cuthbert, if anyone was a fan of 24 back in the day.
Yeah.
She was the daughter. She was just a drunk friend. It was fun.
She was. That was pretty fun. Yeah, she was pretty funny. Yeah.
Then there was just all the other guys are just random.
So the doctor, like right before the game, basically tells Sean William Scott that you can't throw a punch with your right. Like if you throw a punch with your right, you're pretty much crippled. Like you can't play hockey anymore if you do that. So the lead up to the big epic fight is, of course, this owner's son wants to fight Sean William Scott. And basically, like, he threatens to end Liev Schreiber's career. He says, you're going to leave here on a stretcher, which he does. And the same thing. It was just like...
Because he hit him with a stick in the back of the head.
Oh, my God. Terrible. And he didn't get thrown
There was
out
a
of the
player
game.
in hockey that did that. He got arrested.
Yeah,
right. For that.
Right. So that happened. They get into a fight. And then so it leads up to Sean William Scott and the son. The inevitable fight. And
it's just brutal.
It is. It is so brutal.
Like the blood's flying and
everywhere.
It's like,
each punch just felt like I felt each punch.
I mean, God bless them. They directed it well for this, and the sound was great and the visuals. It's just like there was a couple of times when I cringed.
I was surprised. You mentioned that this is Baruchel's first movie. I'm really surprised by it. It was really well done. Like,
he did a good job with it. I mean, there were like storytelling wise, he kind of just even his own. He's in the movie himself like twice.
For no reason.
He's just like kind of kooky, kind of crazy, random. Like could be gay. He's like I think he mentioned he was banging his cousin at one point.
Yeah.
But then he had 2 scenes, and then he was just gone. His character never. He was, there's so many little characters that just never came back.
Yeah. And
they tried to make you care about this other player on the team becoming captain.
Yeah.
It's like that's nice, but it's like who cares?
And then you get the 2 Russian guys that are apparently sleeping with the goalie's mom.
Fucking the goalie's mom. I kept making. I mean, they were funny little jokes. But again, that was something.
It's really funny, but
from the first one, you had to remember to kind of like know their dynamic because they just kind of go right back into shit talking each other.
I think that's part of like those kind of like niche movies or those cult movies, right? Like the people that probably love Goon watch it regularly and probably get the jokes, but then there's people like me or you that enjoyed Goon, watch it regularly. So to see those jokes, a lot of the stuff was kind of passing by my head, but Erin enjoyed it. Remember, like right after the movie, she was like, "Oh, I'm surprised that I enjoyed that. It was fun." So I guess it's good enough. It's funny enough that you don't have to know all the. If you did know all the jokes, I think maybe you would enjoy it. To the level that they were intending it to.
You need just a basic idea, I guess, of the movie. But again, some of the inside stuff would blow past you, and it's fine. It's not a huge part of the movie, but like I said, it was weird. I've never seen a sequel that just usually, even with a comedy sequel, they usually spend 5 to 10 minutes in the beginning of the movie just kind of reintroducing you to things, and this was just boom, we're right back into this thing, and it made you feel like the last movie ended on a cliffhanger of some kind.
Like how they could have done this is they could have had the team kind of like in first place, like everything's going well, and like here's Sean William Scott, and like everything's going great, and the team, and then introduce you to the characters that way, and then they're playing Reading. And that's when the season kind of drops off at that point, is after he gets injured and has to retire, then the team starts to fall apart, right? So they could have done it that way, reintroduced to the characters, and have the stakes a little bit higher, because here they are, they're free falling, now they're out of the playoff race, and
Yeah, I don't think you needed to add the only reason I thought they were adding the kid onto the team, I thought it was going to be revealed that the father made the kid go after Sean William Scott's character to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But then once that wasn't revealed, I was like, what was the point of that? Because then there's even points you feel bad about the kid because his father's a complete shithead and treats him. Then they have some kind of redemptive moment at the end.
And they have sunflower seeds together.
Yeah, there's like winners have sunflower seeds.
I'm just gonna jump into the chat real quick, see what people are saying. M Vance 15 saying Major League 2 was the tits. I didn't hate Major League 2. I didn't hate it.
It didn't hate it, but once you recast in sequels, you're going downhill.
Right, because that was Omar Epps that took over.
Yeah, Omar Epps was instead of Wesley Snipes.
Robert Mayo saying any movie that films a trip to the insurance agent is tops. Well, I could see that. Amanda saying that Jay Baruchel was great and This Is the End. I haven't seen This Is the End. Did you see that? I've seen parts of it.
That was that was their that was a crazy one where and that was the one where Michael Cera dies and they played off the fact that he's kind of might be a dick in real life. So it's always kind of weird knowing what people, because they don't even use him really in any other things either. So it's hard to tell if he actually is a dick.
Yeah, more than likely. So.
But that was that over the top shit where they end the world and that was fun.
Okay. So that's pretty much Goon. Last Name Forces. You got anything else on Goon?
Like I said, yeah, it's a fun watch. I'm not going to tell you not to go watch it. It's on demand. It's on very limited release as far as movie. That's on like one place in the city, I think it was shown. Yeah. I mean, if you like the first one, you will like this one. If you haven't seen the first one, you might want to go back and watch that one first if you're interested in this.
Yeah.
You could watch it without it, just for the gore and funny and just the stupidity of it. I mean, Sean William Scott's good, but he's kind of playing the same Sean William Scott kind of character.
Right.
Dopey, kind of over the top shit. But he's like I said. I was reading an interview with Baruchel today, and they kind of said it didn't do well in America the first time it came out, but it did really well in Canada and in the UK. I mean, obviously a hockey movie is going to do well in Canada, and it kind of got this cult-like following on DVD and TV and stuff. So they said they had there was a demand to make the new one according to them, but again, I think they waited too long for one, and I think there was an easier script. There was an easier way to tell the story.
Yeah.
That would have had some more stakes with than just, he got hurt that one time and now he's back again.
Yeah, I could see that. Again, overall, I enjoyed it. I think it's a fun time. The fights, the blood, everything was cool. Before we move away from this topic, kind of related, another sport is starting up this week, right? Football starting up.
Yeah, we had college started this weekend and got NFL kicks off on Thursday.
So before we decided to do Goon, we were possibly talking about some football movie, and I think I came to that realization, and maybe you can prove me wrong, is most of the good football movies are college, right? There's very few NFL based or pro based or college or high school even.
College and high school, yeah.
Right.
And a lot of them are based on true stories, but you'll notice in every football movie I've noticed actually based on true stories is very loose.
Well, it's like a war story, right?
Yeah, that's very loosely based on a true story. Yeah. Even Rudy, I love Rudy, but that's almost completely untrue.
Remember the Titans? Was that based off a true story too?
Really, it's not even close. I mean, all the people in it are real, but they just kind of change it all around. And they just to fit the narrative. It's great. I mean, I love Denzel Washington movie. It's great. Yeah. It's a great. If you don't know what it, it's almost better not to know. It's not to go, because I'll watch a movie like that a lot of times and I'll go check the real story, and it kind of does take a hit when it's like, oh, that didn't happen that way. All right. So Friday Night Lights was another good one.
The professional one, I think, Any Given Sunday is the only one I can really think of.
Because there isn't really an NFL movie,
right?
Because again, with the rights issue type thing, few.
We mentioned The Replacements earlier, which again is silly fun, but
that's the closest you get to it. Right. I think I'd have had the rights to mention the NFL in that one because that was based loosely off the
strike in 86, 85,
7, I believe.
Was it? Yeah, it was mid.
They loosely based it off that. So, but again, another thing about football movies. They get in Any Given Sunday does the best probably as far as the off the field stuff gets it right. It's probably the worst shot actual on field sport you'll ever see. as far as realism to to how it actually is. If you watch a football movie, you'll like remember. I'll go back to Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans won a championship game on an 80-yard wide receiver reverse. It's never gonna happen. You'll watch like another movie where it's like you'll shoot one scene, they're on the 20, then they're back down this way, then the next shot they're all the way back at 30 again. It's just they're always off on the field. There's always almost every game, every sports movie will have the team is trying for the big score to win the game. They get the big score, it gets called back for holding. I think that's been in at least 3 different movies.
Yeah, right.
There's always
because Necessary Roughness was similar.
Yeah, Necessary Roughness have that.
That's great.
And
I love
even they had that one. Necessary Roughness is also very loosely based off some, big college teams back in the day
really?
that were.
I didn't know that. Yeah, the Program's another one.
I love the program. Again, that's kind of like Any Given Sunday of college, where it's like they get the behind the scenes football stuff right, but like to an extreme level.
Yeah,
it's
like Latimer. I mean, it was kind of heartbreaking. It was a heartbreaking movie.
Oh, yeah. And even Any Given Sunday, if you get a chance to watch the unedited Oliver Stone crazy cut, it's just insane.
Just even like, more locker room penis, is what you're saying?
More penis, more cocaine. There's a scene where they rip the guy's fucking eye out on the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the eye pops out on the field. That's right. Yeah.
Guy walking. Like,
I was about to say something really stupid. I was like, oh, and then they got the guy that kind of looks like Lawrence Taylor, and then I just realized that it actually is Lawrence Taylor.
He was great in that movie.
He was so good.
He's playing himself for the most part.
So scary.
But yeah, that had a lot of Michael Irvin. No, he wasn't in that one. Terrell Owens was in. Yeah. Michael Irvin was in the remake of The Longest Yard.
Yeah, he was in the. Robert May actually mentions The Longest Yard. The original. That was fun.
The original, yeah, original. The Adam Sandler remake is. I mean, it's fun for what
bad. Yeah, I mean, it's. I've seen worse Adam Sandler.
Oh,
I've seen worse sports comedies.
And they have some fun. Stone Cold Steve Austin's in there. It's just kind of.
Yeah. He plays on the other team. Right, he's the guard. Right?
There's a bunch of just wrestlers and athletes in that movie, so that's fun. And Burt Reynolds. Robert May brings up Invincible, which was good. That was the Mark Wahlberg, like as a walk-on for the Eagles.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
One. But again, that was another one based. That's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
With the facts. Those. I mean, if I had to give you a top 5, I mean, Any Given Sunday, of course. Mm-hmm. Remember the Titans is great. Friday Night Lights, the TV show I love. The movie is with Billy Bob Thornton. There's a 30 for 30 on that movie. Not on that movie, but there's a team. It's high school teams in Texas playing each other, and they focus on the team that they played in that movie, which is probably the better story than actually. And it's funny. It's like a big. It's the black. They play a black school. And going back and watching the movie after you see 30, like the movie is just completely fucking racist. All the black players are these big, menacing, shit talking, dancing, kicking, penalty play. And it's just when you watch 30 for 30, it's like we weren't anything like that. So that's a good one. Varsity Blues was actually kind of fun. I like that one.
Oh really?
With Paul
Vanderbeek? Was that
Vanderbeek? Yeah, that's the infamous. Whipped cream bikini movie. We got that from. Little Giants. I really like.
Little Giants. Yeah, that's fun. I agree. Yeah, that's a good one. That's fun. Ed O'Neill.
So yeah, you get like a good one on every level, really.
Yeah.
And the program is great.
Yeah. Program is something.
That's our roughness was fun too.
That's right. Ponyboy saying all the right moves.
Which one was that?
That's the one Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah. That was a good one too.
Yep, very good one. Yeah.
Craig T. Nelson, bring back mentioned coach back in the day.
Yeah.
He was coaching the Minnesota whatever's.
Well, I mean, he makes a great point. Small Town America films. I mean, when you think of Small Town America, you really do think a lot of football.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like the Midwest and
Texas.
Even the town I'm from, like Keensburg.
Yeah.
Square Mile Town, they took football really seriously for a while. We won a couple of state championships.
Big pockets in Jersey where football is huge.
Yeah.
Mostly down more in the southern area.
Mm-hmm.
Even up here with some of the Catholic schools.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I mean, Jersey's a lot, especially with basketball programs, especially in
Yeah.
like Hudson County and stuff like that. I think a lot of we're known for basketball. We went. We're not going to mention the college football team that we had at our school that got disbanded. Like they just got rid of it.
There's
Were
like
juniors or sophomores or something like that, or they just said,
yeah,
we're done with the football program.
this costs way too much and we suck.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I get to be a Notre Dame fan because my school didn't have
Yeah,
football team.
that's right. That's right. Cool. Very cool. Any other weekly stuff you got for me? What do you got?
Well, today, big breaking news. It's actually
Breaking news. Marty's breaking
doing
news.
this.
I
We're
need
doing this.
that. Like
When I
boom, boom,
said
boom.
nine, this thing broke I think like 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Colin Trevorrow out as the Episode 9 director for Star Wars. This is off the heels of Lord and Miller out as the Han Solo director. So again, it's another
Another black eye for Star
another
Wars
black
right
guy
now.
for Star Wars,
Not
and
looking good.
it's Episode 8. Everyone is saying good things. We're 2 months out. There hasn't been a single story about reshoots.
Yep.
No drama. So
Nothing yet.
we were saying before, they're getting the episodic things right.
Mm.
But this was in the works for a little while. If you were
I think
kind
so.
of paying attention.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even know why they announced this guy was directing back in whenever they announced everything all at once. It was odd.
Mm.
They're saying back. I guess they announced. I'm gonna say what 2013 when Disney came out with the whole plan.
Yeah.
Was Abrams is doing Force Awakens, and he's again that was also probably a lie because they're saying he's executive producing the whole thing.
Mhm.
You hear very little about him having input on any of this stuff.
No.
Ryan Johnson was directing the second one, and he was supposed to be writing the third. They said,
Mhm.
which made me when they announced Colin Trevorrow, I was like, Jurassic Park just come out, so they knew he can do blockbusters. But to think he could then, Jurassic Park is a great spectacle and you can watch it, but as far as a plot in a movie, it's pretty shit if you ask me. So the idea he was going to wrap up this franchise was a
Princess
little,
Leia was going to be running around in high heels.
yeah. So the idea I think. Yeah, when the original thought was Ryan Johnson was writing both of them, I was like, all right, well, he can direct a spectacle, so I guess it'll be good. But then I think a lot of it stems from Carrie Fisher dying.
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably had a plan for Episode 9, and once that, of course, happened, they had to scrap a lot of what they were doing. So now you have this guy, who's now Jurassic Park is 3 years ago. He's not as hot as he used to be. He had one movie come out this summer, Book of Henry,
Mm-hmm.
which he wrote and directed, it was a smaller scale thing, but he wrote and directed, and it got pretty bad reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there were some issues there. There was talk about 2 weeks ago of a rewrite already, and I don't know if it's because of the Lord and Miller thing with Han Solo, where they said, all right, let's get out ahead of this already.
I think so. Yeah.
And I mean, they said, the statement was mutually agreed upon, which I'm sure is bullshit, but
all right. Yeah.
that we'll have more information soon. So I mean, they're gonna have to announce a director before Episode 8 comes out, I assume.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have one lined up already.
They probably do, but they just didn't want to announce it all at once. I would assume. I can't imagine.
Joss Whedon.
He's in the Disney family. And this was the one that was coming out. This is supposed to come out May of 19.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they've been going with the Christmas things every couple of years, but they switched this one to May 19.
it's
So
gonna
I'm
be pushed
assuming
up to Christmas, yeah.
that'll be the first announcement we're gonna, because again, they don't have the script isn't finalized. They would have had to start shooting soon.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this leads to Ryan. They just saying Ryan Johnson, please stay,
It just takes on, yeah.
and which is I don't know, it worries me about. I mean, I'm a Star Wars apologist forever, so but the idea that there just wasn't a plan. It seems there was a plan to do the movies. There was a plan to have these directors, but like so many people spend so much time debating theories and talking about who this is and this is, and I don't think they know. They didn't come in knowing that this is Rey is this person,
right.
This is Snoke is this person. They just seem to be letting each director make it up as they go.
I'm going to say something controversial here. As bad as it ended, at least Lucas had a plan for those prequels. He had the whole story of 1, 2, and 3. And again, it didn't turn out well, and he shot himself in the foot. But if you look at the story, I mean,
Star Wars are
the first one gets so caught up in politics.
Yeah.
Which funny enough is I actually like that part of it. I like the whole like trade thing and like the politics and everything, like, because that's how it all starts. I mean, maybe a lot of it you don't want to see on screen. I get that, but at least he had this whole sketch of here's the 3 movies, start to
here's the
finish.
vision. Yeah.
Here's the vision. I agree with you. They're lacking that right now. I don't know if they're just we were talking about future episodes, and I said it's like, oh well, leading up to Star Wars Episode 8, we should do Empire Strikes Back, right? Because we figure you see the parallels there, and I hope that's not it. I hope they're not just saying it's like let's just look at the original trilogy and just like base our plots off of that because people like it.
Well, it's like I said, everything coming out of Rian Johnson. People are saying it's a whole different thing. All the quotes are saying it's a completely different story than you expect. That's why it's so weird about all the press for 8 is great, but every other thing you hear, they still haven't really started the press for that either. We still haven't had a real trailer.
I'm hoping, maybe we'll find out. Is basically as you said, is that they'll just say Johnson takes it, and that everyone in the studio loves it, and they think this is the vision of the future for the franchise. And that Johnson's just so I'm hoping that it's a good sign in a way, not a bad sign.
But then the opposite side of that, say 8 isn't good.
Oh God,
people don't. 8 is it's going to make money regardless. But people don't like what they did. Now you have an 8 that's not that great, and you don't have a director for 9. So where do you? Like I said, it's surprising. Like you said about Lucas, he had the vision at least.
Yeah.
So
execution, but vision.
Yeah. Right. And what maybe it wasn't the right vision. We can argue that till the cows come home as far as what his idea was for Anakin Skywalker and all the stories. But you knew when he started Episode 1, he knew what was going to happen all the way up until Episode 3.
Agreed. Right.
They let JJ start it. They handed it off to Rian Johnson. All right, you do what you want now, and you hand it off to Colin Trevorrow, and you do what you do now. So it's like, I know there's an overall story group and there's an overall, arc of, what they, you can't just make it up as you go. As you could see what they did with Lord and Miller when they wanted to make Han Solo into a comedy. They said, all right, you can't do that shit. Yeah. But just, again, it's a funny conversation as far as, do you want to give directors the freedom to make a good movie? But again, if you're going, it's all Disney. So if you're going off the Marvel model, they give their directors some leeway, but you have to hit these plot points.
Right.
So it seems, I don't know, I don't know, they seem to be lacking that as they go here with Star Wars, which is scary. But like I said, Episode 8 is going to be good, and we're going to go from there.
All right. What else you got for me?
That was about it. I mean, that was the biggest news of the day. There was a few other little tidbits. There was some rumors about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah,
possibly being the Joker, which I think would be, I mean, it's interesting in that, we said a couple weeks ago, of course, they're doing this whole other... They're gonna do the
prequel or
they're doing canon stuff, and they're just gonna do these other movies too that don't fit.
Okay. So Scorsese's involved in that one.
And
that's
Scorsese,
why Leonardo DiCaprio's name is being brought up.
Yeah, like I said, Leo only really works for Scorsese, Nolan, or Spielberg at this point in his career. Right. So if Scorsese's doing a movie, it's likely that Leo's name's gonna get at least talked about.
Fair point. And
but I don't know if he'd want to do Joker. No, I mean, because he does love Jack Nicholson. I know that, so he might want to do that. But there's still the whole Heath Ledger thing that's kind of hanging over the role, and you're going to be doing it at the same time Jared Leto's doing his own interpretation because they're doing that movie with Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn movie. They're doing another Suicide Squad.
So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he'd want to get involved with something like that. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, you're talking about but then. It's just so weird the fact that they're doing this and that you're going to have people have to choose between your own Jokers. And it's like, well, I want to see Leo. I don't want to see Jared Leto doing any more shit over here. So it's an odd thing that they're doing. But that was an interesting little point that came out this week. Again, this is all just speculation and still no plans, as anything with Warner Brothers, there's no plans in place that are, until they rewrite them.
Right. That it? That's all you got?
What's the major stuff? There's some more talk this week about how horrible the summer box office was, and this is, I guess, the second summer in a row that went down. And I mean, like, we haven't even done really a theatrical release in over a month, I would say, right? The last theatrical release was probably, was it Alien?
No, War for the Planet of the Apes, maybe,
Well,
or
Planet Apes, that was mid-July, if anything. So like I said, there wasn't a really good movie on all of August, I would say.
no?
So
Yeah,
again,
August was a dead month for us. I mean, we were possibly gonna do Dark Tower, but ended up
yeah,
doing.
it was just a lot of tanks. I mean, that tanked pretty hard. There was a couple of surprise hits. Baby Driver was a pretty big
Mm-hmm.
surprise hit.
Mm-hmm.
Girls' Night Out or
Oh,
Girls'
what
Night,
was the
I
new
think.
Soderbergh movie that just came out? Lucky. Um,
Yeah. That did well. So there was a lot of little surprise hits, but those were typically movies that you don't regard as summer hits.
right,
So
right.
once like after Guardians and Wonder Woman and Spider Man, there was a pretty big drop off at the box
Yeah,
office this summer.
and it's not looking like it's gonna pick up again for a little while.
Well, there's a couple interesting movies coming out that
Well,
we'll be talking
two
about.
weeks we're gonna do episode on Mother, right?
It'll be interesting. There's some. I mean, there's movies coming out that we're all interesting. There's not going to be anything box office wise until November, I would say, when they
Thor,
kick back in
right?
Thor and Justice League, and then hopefully Star Wars if they haven't pushed it for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's been a couple. It's been a quiet. It was a very quiet month for movies this week. This August,
Right.
but towards the fall for new exciting adventures.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, I think this went well. First show without Abe. He was off this week anyway. So it turned out to be funny.
Yeah, he was going to be
I was gonna have to do the show no matter what. So, yeah, had fun. We'll be back.
There were no technical issues, I can tell.
Nothing major. Didn't look like we got through the show pretty well. So wrap up another episode of the Movies and Stuff show. We'll be back next week live at 9 p.m. Eastern. Did we decide we're gonna do Black Swan next week? We're gonna do
Yeah, unless something breaks, I guess.
yeah, unless there's something else, we'll do a Darren Aronofsky movie, probably Black Swan, in lead up to Mother, which comes out the following, which we'll do an episode the following week. So that's kind of our lineup for the next couple of weeks. Me and Marty have been talking. We got a pretty good schedule. Of course, when October comes about, we'll have some horror films. You're not a fan of the horror, right? You're not a huge fan. Yeah, so we'll have to drag out some things that you might like, and we'll go from there. But yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. You can also follow us on Facebook at Movie Stuff Show. And please like and subscribe. I think Marty will probably have a like and subscribe, a subscribe button somewhere, and maybe some other videos on the screen to check out.
No downvotes.
No downvotes so far. So hey, we're in luck. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Wrapping up the chat real quick. M. Van saying not enough Ewoks. Ponyboy thanking us for a good review of Goon because he appreciates the hockey love, and he's also saying that Black Mirror season 4 is soon, and that it's the best series on TV. I need to get into Black Mirror. I haven't gotten to Black Mirror yet. I've been watching too much Rick and Morty lately.
We might throw in some TV talk about
I think so.
in there.
I think so. Yeah, we didn't get into any of our Game of Thrones stuff because
I did watch that while we were in Aruba.
I watched mine when I was in Miami. So
you can't not, because if you don't watch it, then you have to kind of not be around people.
Not anybody. Like even Miami, you can't talk there.
Like we were walking around the whole before we had to see it the next day, and there was someone behind us talking just randomly about it. It's like we had to scream at them.
All right. Thanks again, chat. Thanks again, Marty. Have a good night.
All right, guys.
Bye, everyone.